Oh my God.
Factors are reproduced in laboratory experiments. The ability to perform is studied during noise exposure tests. High-intensity noise exposure for even short periods of time can become physically intolerable to both support personnel and the astronaut. In addition, space operations require continuous, high-quality communications with the astronaut. Noise as an interfering factor must be reduced or eliminated. Vibration occurs during the high engine performance period at launch and prior to the time orbital velocity is achieved. These vibrations can become so severe as to lead to physical incapacitation. Research is conducted in biomedical laboratories to determine man's tolerance to this occurrence. In addition, training and familiarization programs are designed which tend to reduce the effects of vibration on the astronaut's performance. The effects of high G-forces incurred at time of launch and during successive ignitions of multi-stage booster engines have been thoroughly studied. Human tolerance limits in various body positioning experiments have been established on the centrifuge.
What's up, good people? Now that was in 1960. That's how they used to train before the astronauts went off into what they called space, and we believed it back then, even I. But I guess apparently in 2021, all you got to do is just have money. And this is Michael Strahan, New York Giant, retired player. This is his training camp. Right now he's in an old pub where astronauts return back to flat Earth and go and have a drink and eat and talk about how fake their journey was. But that was his training, getting measured, putting his arms up like he's driving a car and sitting in a chair. And now he's being trained like I did when I got my driver's license for my 5-hour class. I sat and watched the video on how to drive a car, how to be careful. This is his training, and he's going to get certified to fly. It's not like the 60s anymore. Nah, all you need is money and to be a big name on TV so that it appears believable. I'm just saying. But I heard something funny during this announcement. Check this out. And of course, I don't see why not, but of course, this is not allowed in space.
I mean, I asked them to take a selfie, but I don't think they're allowed to take their phone, so I don't know that that's going to happen. But hey, I don't think they're allowed to take their phone. I don't think they're allowed to take their phone. I don't think they're allowed to take their phone. I don't think they're allowed to take their phone. I don't think they're allowed to take their phone, so I don't know that that's going to happen. But hey.
With a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines.
Since then, and it's not just about going to the edge of the atmosphere. This is about eventually going farther and farther into space and exploring and seeing what science can come from this, what kind of research can come from it. Since then, and it's not just about going to the edge of the atmosphere. This is about eventually going farther and farther into space and exploring and seeing what science can come from this.
Step for man. One giant leap.
Since then, and it's not just about going to the edge of the atmosphere. This is about eventually going farther and farther into space and exploring and seeing what science can come from this.
man and equipment must be able to operate in a weightless state. Training and testing procedures developed by Air Force human factors engineers who, calling on experience gathered over years of experimentation, are able to simulate some of the effects of zero gravity. At the School of Aerospace Medicine, Brooks Air Force Base, Texas, disorientation experiments are conducted in a 3-gimbaled chair, free-floating on a cushion of air. This apparatus provides 3-dimensional freedom, one of the conditions the astronaut will experience in weightlessness.
I'm sorry, but I could be wrong, or I could be asking for too much. Like, damn, Jay, what do you expect? Calm down, Jay. I could be asking for too much, but I don't know these other people, but Michael, for this to be like a historical thing, we should have seen his complete training of all the stuff that he had to go through just to do this. You know, being strapped down to a chair, dealing with, you know, 0G and all that. And we should have been allowed in the room to see him go through that. But we didn't. So, I don't know. Maybe I am asking for too much.
What does this mean for space travel, for space tourism? Why is this important?
Well, you know what, it's beyond space travel and space tourism. What we're talking about here is actually the health of our science and engineering as a country and as a nation. And I tell you, one word jumped out to me throughout this, and that word is family. And so one of the things that happens when people go to space, people like Katie, people now like Michael Strahan, is that they realize that we're all one big human family. They realize the fragility of our planet, of our atmosphere. But you know what? Our scientific and engineering knowledge is also fragile. And stuff like this gets a whole new generation excited, gets a whole new generation engaged, and we can keep it coming. Keep it coming. Humans are dope, but they're especially dope when they're well educated and well trained. Humans are dope, but they're especially dope when they're well educated and well trained. Humans are dope, but they're especially dope when they're well educated and well trained.
So that's that up in a nutshell. I just believe it's a amusement park ride. 11 minutes total, 3 minutes floating around. Come on now. Come on, man. And this is why on the International Swim Station, they're always cutting their videos. And you could tell when they splice and cut, because they got to do the 3 minutes of floating around and stuff. Then you got to level out. You hit the floor. We've seen the astronauts hit the floor.
Practice makes perfect. Give me another week.
Allegedly, this is supposed to be the last time for Americans to just get up in the ship and float above the clouds. But in this case, Michael Strahan was not paid, or he did not pay for this trip. They actually paid him because they need the promotion. Now, what we need is to see people actually go into space. Not from the ground. I have a camera on the front of my car and the back of my car. I'm like NASCAR up in here. We need a camera on the front windshield of every spaceship going into space or connecting to the swim station that's supposedly up there, so that we can see what's going on. Nobody want to look at Earth anymore, man, with an engine nozzle. That's old, man. But anywho, I forgot, when I was in Cherry Springs, I did see Venus, but you know me, I'm always looking at the firmament. All right, so I did see Venus, took a picture of it as close as I can, and you know what I saw. So if you have that same structure with Venus, and I can't see it from where I live. I had to go to Pennsylvania to go see it. And now I look at the luminaries from the Big Dipper, Little Dipper, and I get the same structure behind it. Jupiter, I get the same structure behind it. I believe it's the same wall, firmament, the limit. I can't be seeing the same structure in different places behind all these supposed named planets. And that's why I brought Logic Senior, not to get these pretty pictures of what they call planets. I don't care about that. I'm looking to see what these lights are sitting in, and here we are.